Welcome, dear ones. Today is a short little exploration of the wood element. So we'll begin by connecting with the energy of the liver and the gallbladder. So you can just take a comfortable seat, whether you sit on a block, you can grab a bolster or any props that you may need. However, I will be doing this example of the postures without any props. However, I will guide, if you do have props at home, what you can use if you need to. So just taking an easy seat, and the liver and the gallbladder are on the right side of the abdomen, just the upper part here, just underneath the rib cage. So you can place your right hand down, left hand over the top if you are a woman, and reverse for male. So we'll just relax the shoulders down, take a nice straight spine, nice integrous spine, but without being rigid in any way. So find some softness, just taking the shoulders away from the ears. And we'll begin to breathe some energy into the liver and the gallbladder. So the breath is like a balloon. It's nourishing all the center part of the body rather than being short, sharp, and up into the chest area. As we've learned, the diaphragm has a direct relationship to the liver and our breathing. So often when we're really stressed or overwhelmed, we'll breathe quite high or we'll breathe out the mouth. So we're breathing in and out through the nose, and we are expanding in all directions like a balloon. When you're filling up a balloon, that everything is moving outward. So your hands start to move, the breath is quite low to begin with, and then it starts to inflate all areas. So all of this lower region and where the diaphragm is sitting with the liver here. So let's take a few of those nice, slow, wide, extended breaths. You could always also visualize a seed of energy right in the center, and it's growing as you inhale, and as you exhale, the energy just softens inward. The color of the wood element is green. So you can visualize a vibrant green color as your breath expands and the energy starts to expand in this area. And to balance the wood element energy, we're looking at slowing everything down, which is the beauty of our Yin Yoga practice, to surrender into stillness and to receive and to recuperate, to recharge, to rejuvenate the body, mind, and spirit through a very slow, mindful practice. And let's just take 3 more breaths here. And let's gently relax the hands down on the knees. Just come back to a natural rhythm of breath, but allowing that breath to carry you through the practice today. So breathing far and wide through the lower region, connecting to the diaphragm and the energy of the liver and the gallbladder. And we'll begin our first posture. If you can be sideways on the mat, or just allowing yourself to support your ankles as you take your legs nice and wide into a straddle position or dragonfly. And a few different variations for this posture. So we're looking at opening through the liver line here. So coming upward from the big toe, we can also stimulate an acupressure point if you can reach your feet. If not, that's perfectly fine. So take your glutes, shuffle them backward. You can also roll up a mat or put a blanket or even sit on a pillow or something if you feel like you're leaning back quite a bit in this posture. And so we're gently walking forward here, and it's more of a rounding of the back unless you have some sensitivity through your spine. Now here's where we can find probably a first resistance in the body where the body just starts to pause. So we want to work with that edge. And here's where we can bring in an acupressure point of liver 3, which is in between the first and second toe, so the big toe and the second toe. And in between the bones, you'll come to a point just before the bones join. You can get your index finger in there just to have a play with that if you can reach. If not, that's okay. You can just enjoy the beautiful unwinding of this posture by coming forward. So if you are using the acupressure points, you can just poke your index finger into the point for just about a minute of this posture as you move forward to your own degree. And if you wish, you can just release the point at any stage. If you can stay there, we are bringing some balance into this channel. It's also good for removing any obstruction, any blockages in the liver channel. It's balancing, regulating menstruation. And it's also a bit of a power point used in acupuncture as well, stopping pain and balancing the energy of the liver. It's also enhancing some energy in the spleen when combined with other points too. So relaxing the shoulders, allowing the head to just fall to a position, whether you use a bolster or something in front of you. Take some of those deep breaths far and wide here. Expanding the lower belly out towards the back body and up into the area of the liver and the gallbladder. The diaphragm, keeping it nice and centered, also relating to the solar plexus energy here. And you can release the point if you wish to just bring your hands in front wherever you are. Just notice where you're kind of hanging in space here. As we spend a few minutes in this pose, you might find the body starts to lower, even if it's just a little millimeter forward, maybe throughout the pose. There's no goal to get your face on the floor. We're relaxing the knees here, relaxing the feet, and dropping more into that passive variation of this posture. You might be coming to the next edge in the body if the body is slowly beginning to open. And we'll take our last few nice, long, expansive, wide breaths here. Just observing if the body is inviting you to perhaps drop a little further on the exhalation. And very gently begin to walk the hands up. Just take a pause. Try not to move your legs about, just walking up until you find that sensation just starts to dissipate. We pause, reflect, and allow that sensation to dissolve with a few breaths in stillness. And then here's where we can bring in some self-massage for the liver line. So taking your hands and just walking up and down, or you can have your thumb on the inside here. There's also the liver 11 point and a few liver points around the hip flexors here. So you can kind of get your fingers in and massage around here in the inner seam where the thighs connect up with the pelvis here. And then you could go down, massage the knees down to the inner part of the legs and calf muscles. And then coming back up. So we'll stay in this position and we're coming to a lateral side bend for this shape. If you do need to adjust your legs at some point, if you're finding that's too strong just being here, then feel free to walk the legs in slightly or change your position in some way that suits you. So we'll slide the right hand down the right leg and the left hand up and over. Now, a few options here. The hand can be on the back of the neck. It can be on top of the head as you gaze up. If your neck is quite sensitive, you might want to grab the back of your neck, turn your elbow down and just sort of gaze down. Let the body drop to wherever it, you will find that first part of resistance, and you should feel here the purpose of the pose is to get a nice opening through the lateral side body. This is where the gallbladder meridian travels through the lateral side body. So a nice side bend stretch. If at any point it gets too much for the neck, you can look at changing the position. Try to get the upper body in line with the legs so you're not shifting forward or back, and you really are receiving that nice elongation of the side body. So just play around with the arm position, find what works for you, and then pause in stillness and let the magic just unfold as you again may find just that journey of that little dropping down moment by moment, without any force or control. So that is really the energy of the wood element that can be expressed sometimes, is quite forceful, controlling, overpowering. So we want to wind that back and weave in more of the water element, more softness, gentleness, the ability to go with the flow, to be adaptable. So you notice where and how you practice yin, whether you are grabbing onto things externally to get you further, or also when you're utilizing all these props to make you feel more comfortable rather than sitting in a little bit of discomfort. And this is where the magic happens. This is where we see the most amount of change in life, when we can move through those muddy waters of uncomfortableness. And we can really sit in it and be with it. And when we come out, we see that things are very different on the other side. There's been an opening, some form of awakening. And we move through these challenges with more effortlessness, more ease, more compassion. We'll just spend another 5 rounds of breath here. Again, just tuning into where you are in space. If you've been able to surrender that little bit more, let go of the trying. And slowly, gently rising up. Come to the center and pause there again with as little movement as possible. Just tuning in and allowing those tissues to reform, sensation to move. Sometimes we can feel the energy through the body with pulsations or different temperatures. And let's give the neck a little massage here. So just with your hands massaging through the neck, through the shoulder area, maybe pulling the hands down towards the front from the back, getting into that gallbladder 21 point on the top of the shoulders. Just having your whole hands on the top and just pulling the tissues forward, if that feels okay. Look after your neck, and then you can just start to massage around there. And let's take a little rolling through the neck here. So take the neck to one side, chin towards the shoulder, rolling down and forward, taking chin towards the chest, moving really slowly here. And creating a big circle around to the other side. Notice if the shoulders are creeping up, drop them down. Come all the way up, chin towards the sky. Getting that nice length through the front of the throat. And then coming around and back to center. And then just do that once more, the opposite direction, moving really slowly and mindfully. Almost how slow can I go here? Keeping the breath nice and wide down below. Perhaps taking an exhale through the mouth if things are feeling really kind of tight and tense. And then just exploring, where did you find some more tension, whether on one side to another? Can you spend a little bit more time just exploring that with some different movements side to side? Just playing with a little bit of movement. So just allow yourself another couple of breaths here for exploring the neck. And then we'll come to the other side of our side bend in straddle. Again, if you really need to move your legs, we've been here quite some time in this position. So feel free to move the legs in some direction that will support you. And coming back to center with the head, we'll now slide the left hand down, the right hand up and over. So again, whether you held the back of your neck or your hand was on your head, just really playing with that. It might be slightly different on this side, and keeping the upper body more in line with the leg rather than tilting forward or back. Using any props that you need to here. Lightly just bending, and then again, maybe the elbow turns down and the head turns down towards the earth, relaxing the shoulder down, and then just melting yourself down to the side. It's very different for each and every one of us with the anatomy of our neck where it feels most comfortable. If you feel like you've got the flexibility and there's no forcing or grabbing, the hand can come up and over the head too and just kind of hang out. It just really depends. So feel into that and surrender into stillness. Feeling that nice length through the lateral side body as you release all the tension through. Sometimes there's quite a bit happening in the top of the hip area. This is where the IT band originates as well, which is a very thick, dense tissue through the side of from the side of the hip joint to past the knee joint. And come back to that expansive breath,
that balloon that's blowing up inside of you, the circular breathing that's expanding out in each and every direction around, towards the front, the back, the side, and everything in between. Nice, and just our last few breaths here. And there, gently beginning to come upright, being very slow, mindful. Take that pause. Just rest your hands down, close your eyes again, just feel into the energy through the opposite side. Relax the shoulders down. And breathing that balloon within the lower region of the abdomen, the upper part. Sending some energy to the lower dantian, our powerhouse of energy field here. And then also our solar plexus a little bit higher. Wood element is connecting with both of those energies. And the way that we grow and expand our energy body is through these meditative, slow practices where the energy draws inward. And then it's focusing on expanding the energy outward. And then again, if you feel to do some neck rolling, or just from side to side, tilting one ear to the shoulder and then slowly gliding to the other side. Just very gently coming to center and crossing the legs. Coming back to our first position, just an easy seat, and just taking a moment to feel into the inner thighs where we've been working, and also the side body. Maybe you've gained just slightly a bit of length and space through the top of the pelvis region, connecting all these muscles up through the side body, hopefully through the neck and shoulders, and just continuing to work through the neck if it feels a little sensitive also. And we'll place the hands back on liver and the gallbladder, connecting back in with this energy as we invoke more kindness, compassion, and generosity. And breathing that space, the color green, coming back to this lower
more expansive diaphragmatic breathing, connecting to the liver. At any point when you're feeling stressed or anxiety, overwhelm, be mindful of dropping the shoulders down and just expanding the awareness of the breath, of this circular breathing from center to the outward in all directions. This wide, slow, low, deep breath. Letting the hands rest down and taking that energy of the wood element with you throughout your day, throughout your evening, of invoking and expressing from that place of compassion, kindness, and generosity. Thank you for practicing, and namaste.